Hi, everybody. This is your announcement for Philosophy 201. This is week 5. Today is June 21st. It's Father's Day. So if you are a father out there, happy Father's Day to you. So last week we were talking about creation in Module 2.1, and I enjoyed reading your discussion about the text of the Bushongo people and the other creation stories that were in that module. And it's always interesting to see what students say about that story. And somehow, the vomiting tends to surprise people, and it's interesting to see your reactions to that part of the story. And, some of you kind of focused in on it and said, oh, that's so different, from what I have been raised with and, the kind of the Judeo-Christian tradition. And that's valid. Because it is a different kind of story. And then there are others of you who saw more similarities, kind of reached beyond sort of that action itself and saw that as a means of creation. And I thought that was also very interesting. So yes, that's always an interesting to think about. It's the different ways in which creation can be considered, and how we react to different possibilities of creation. And then, of course, the scientific as well, which has evidence behind it. And that's another whole can of worms, isn't it? So, okay. Well, anyway, let's move on. This week, we move on to module. Actually, we're going to do 2 modules this week, 2.2 and 2.3, which is an essay assignment. So I will talk more about that in a moment. Okay, so going on. So we are in module 2.2, and then, like I said, we're also going to be getting to module 2.3 this week as well. Okay, so you have a busy week ahead of you. Okay, so this week we are talking about what is the nature of reality. Okay, and so I have some thoughts here. Is reality merely what we see around us, or is there something that underlies what is seen, such as a force, like Star Wars, like they have in Star Wars and the whole franchise? Or are there levels of reality, kind of suggested by the film The Matrix? As you can see, I like movies. But further still, are the sensory and emotional experiences that a human has, is that the nature of what is actually real? So these readings that I've selected explore a few different answers to those questions. All right, so your learning activities are: first, read my commentary, okay, because I will talk to you about the readings that I have selected. And then you are going to read, let's see, 1, 2, 3 different readings. Okay, so the first one is by Plato, and it's called The Myth of the Cave. And I've also included a short video, to kind of explain that story to you as well. Okay, but please, the video should not substitute for the reading. Okay, so make sure you do the reading. And then, also from Chapter 2 in our textbook, I'm going to have you read The Way of the Universe, which is by Lao Tzu, who was an ancient Chinese philosopher, and The True Features of Reality, which is by Keitaro Nishida. He is was a 20th century philosopher from Japan. Okay, so we are going to see 3 kind of very different views of what reality is from 3 different perspectives. So I hope you enjoy that. Okay, so moving on in the module, there is a self-check quiz that is due on Tuesday the 22nd, and then the discussion. Okay, so the discussion is going to focus in on the reading by Nishida. Now, personally, I think this is a pretty challenging reading, okay, because what he talks about is pretty abstract sounding, especially to us. Kind of think about Hume, okay, and how abstract that was. Okay, so Nishida is kind of on, I'm not saying he says the same thing as Hume, but just in terms of um, how challenging that reading was. Nishida is also challenging in that way. So the question is, do you agree with Nishida's claim that knowledge must not be divorced or separate from feeling and will? Explain why or why not. Okay, so that is a question you'll need to really dig into Nishida's reading, the writing that he does, in order to understand that. And I think once you read that, the question will make more sense to you than maybe it does at this first look. Okay, so because what he's saying is that there is kind of a unity of that knowledge is tied into feeling and will, and that's how we experience knowledge. That knowledge is gained from this idea of pure experience. Okay, so if you have questions or you have trouble with that reading, contact me. I can talk to you a little bit more about it. Okay, and also read my commentary. That will help as well. Okay, so that is the discussion. That will be due on the 24th. Okay, that's the due date. So once again, make sure you post your response, your first response, by the 22nd, which is Tuesday, if I get my days right. Okay? And I am taking points off if your response is late. Okay, now the next thing you're going to move right on to is the essay. Okay, Module 2.3 is an essay. So this is your first essay assignment in our class, and the idea behind this essay is for you to talk about one of the philosophical readings that we've done so far in the class, and I tell you which one we're going to talk about. Okay, so I have pretty detailed instructions here that you'll see in just a minute. Okay, so the objective of this is to describe the arguments and positions of one of the theories presented in Module 2 in a short written assignment. Okay, so click on Next, and this will take you to the assignment itself. Okay, so this document has the instructions for you. So it's a short essay. The purpose of this assignment is for you to write descriptively about one of the readings in this module. This exercise will prepare you to write an essay in Module 3 in which you will critically evaluate a philosophical reading we study. Okay, so the topic of this is creation and reality, and for the essay we're going to focus in on the Plato reading, The Myth of the Cave. Okay, so I would like you to follow this structure. You're required to follow the structure that I give you, and then you're going to answer my question, okay, which is, what does Plato's Myth of the Cave tell us about the human condition? Okay, now, human condition, that tends to trip people up because people don't know what I mean by that. Okay, so by human condition, what I mean is what does Plato's story tell us about what it's like to be a human, what it means to be a human. So that's kind of what I mean by the term human condition. Okay, so and if you have further questions about that or you want to talk about it, please contact me. I'm happy to talk further with you about that. Okay, so don't get tripped up on that phrase, the human condition. Okay, so I give you instructions on how exactly to write the essay. I do want you to cite your source. Okay, now you just have one source, which is the reading by Plato. I do not want you to go outside to outside sources. Okay, the video is okay, all right, but it can't be a substitute for the reading. But please do not Google and try to find answers to this question on the internet. All right. Students have gotten in trouble doing that because by not citing, by not properly paraphrasing, they've actually committed plagiarism, which is not good. Okay, so just avoid all of that. I don't want you to go onto the internet to try to find answers to this question. I would like for you to reflect on the reading and, dig deep, okay, and figure out the answer from your own perspective, okay? How do you answer that question based on your reading of the text? And like I said, the video is okay too. You can bring that in to the discussion as well. Okay, so you have to cite your sources. And for this, we use MLA. Okay, so make sure you know MLA. There should not be spelling or grammatical errors. Make sure that your writing is clear. And if you need help with writing, we do have online tutoring available with our Academic Support Center. I highly recommend you use their services. They can be very helpful. Okay, which means you'll have to get a good start on this. Don't wait to the last minute to complete this assignment. Don't wait till Sunday to do this assignment, which is the day that it's due. Okay, these are the criteria I'll be using to grade your essay. So make sure you look at this before you begin so you know what it is I will be looking for when I read your essay. Okay, so this is due on Sunday, June 28th, and there is the full rubric that I will be using to grade your essay. Okay, so that is what we are doing for this week. It's a busy week. All right, so, okay. So that's what we're doing. If you have questions, please contact me. I guess I should ask a question for you for extra credit because I need to keep that promise. Well, in the module, I refer to the Force or Star Wars. Yeah, this might be a fun question. So tell me, if you're someone who likes movies, what movie do you think is philosophical? Okay, it brings up philosophical ideas or questions for you that you have enjoyed. Okay, for me, I love The Matrix. I love the Star Wars franchise. So just share with us what movies have you enjoyed that are philosophical. Okay, that's it for this week. I gotta go. The video's too long. Contact me if you have questions, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye.